Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. I am so happy that you are here. I'm in Clearwater, Florida today, and it is 95 degrees, and I am deeply grateful for the air conditioning where I have my home base in Sedona, Arizona. 95 degrees wouldn't be too dreadful, but the humidity definitely adds something to the mix. I would love to know where everyone else is coming from. And I would also love to know what you're grateful for today. If anyone would like to share that in the chat, I think that would be great. We could all get a sense of where we're coming from and set a tone for being grateful. So today we're going to be recording this session as usual so that we can have it as a reference in the future and we can share it with those that may not have been able to make it here. And so anyway, just take a couple of minutes if you want to share something. I see Diane is from Alexandria. Yay. Love that. Spent many, many years there myself. And for those of you, just while we're um, getting started here and waiting, giving a moment for any stragglers to find their way to the Zoom room, um, I am Shey Khandro, and if you're just getting to know me, please let me let you know that I am a committed meditator and an advocate for a more peaceful and compassionate world. I also believe very strongly that it begins with finding peace within. And so I'm here today to offer tools and practices for each of you to cultivate loving kindness, compassion, and mindfulness in your lives. I'm going to ask, let's see, let's kind of mute everybody if we wouldn't mind muting ourselves, or I will mute you so we can cut down on any background noises. Okay, great. We've got that little bit of housekeeping taken care of. I received my early training, as many of you know, in the Tibetan Buddhist community and have continued to deepen this practice over the last, gosh, it's been 35 years. So what the hey? And still keep peeling back layers, not to be discouraging in any way, but I'm here on the second Sunday of each month to create space for all of us to deepen our mindful meditation practice and to also share with a like-minded community, people um, that are on a common journey, sharing a path. And I find that to be a very, very powerful thing in the world today and in the world of our personal practice. And I also am always inspired by the power of community to create that ripple effect within our collective field of consciousness. Of course, each one of us, with the choices that we make, the thoughts we think, the words we speak, the actions we take, we are creating ripples. But when we come together, we really do exponentially enhance that potential. So I just am so grateful that all of you are here to share this time together. And I've been thinking, I think a month about what it is that we might all appreciate diving into a little bit, being reminded of however it is that you use this particular gathering and this practice. And as summer is upon us, it's kind of a time for play for many of us, getting outdoors, doing things. Maybe you have children and they're out of school. Maybe you're traveling more. Maybe you've got just a little sense of something of a break in your schedule. But it's often a time that is associated with a little more playfulness. So throughout the month of June, I decided to explore the theme of joy and playfulness in my weekly newsletter. It drops every Friday morning. If you're interested in staying connected and receiving some tools and practices that can support your journey, you're welcome to sign up for that also. But I thought today we would also continue that theme and we would kind of emphasize cultivating a kind of relaxed and open and playful attitude with our practice. So as we begin, we want to, let's see, someone, oh, I know what's happening there. Okay, there we go. I think we may have a second Mary Walsh joining us, or maybe she fell out. So here we are. Anyway, yeah, always good to wait for a couple of stragglers to come in. I suspect I might know who that is, Mary. Thank you for taking care of her. And anyway, where was I? Okay, yeah, let's take a moment to settle in and get centered in our hearts and in the moment and ready for receiving, some kind of a connection with each other and with the moment. So I'd like to invite you to connect with kind of why you're here. What brought you here today? And maybe you're seeking more peace, more joy, or simply a deeper connection with yourself. Whatever it is that's brought you here, it's definitely an important part of your journey. And I want to express I just can't say enough how grateful I am to be walking this path together and being able to share all of this with each of you. So let's just take a moment to breathe, to center, quiet our mind, turn our attention to our breath. Today, we are going to be breathing in and out of our heart center. We're going to explore a little bit about how playfulness and joy can impact our personal practice. Um, I'm going to guide you into a period of silent meditation where we will rest in some of the ideas that are shared. Then we can also have some time for reflection and sharing if that is something you would like. Coming in fully into this present moment, I just want to pose a question. How can we embrace more playfulness and self-compassion? And how can this transform our daily experiences and interactions? How might you imagine that could happen? And if anybody wants to share, I mean, sometimes I know there's people that are just kind of itching to be a part of it, but and and share their thoughts, and I totally welcome that. And also, if you want to put something in the chat, that can also be very nice for a way to share with each other. How might playfulness serve us on our spiritual journey? Anything anyone would like to share? Stress relief. Yes, totally. That's number one, I think, on my list. And something I find there's a total shift in my sense of being when I move from kind of well, all of this even can be very serious. I was thinking for a moment of work things and how you're moving into playfulness. Um, Taking yourself too seriously. Indeed, absolutely. That is something. Oh my gosh, it's been a recent conversation. I think that's part of what brought up this whole topic for June for me. Beyond the idea of summer, I find that so often I just feel so serious. The world is so full of suffering and change, and and I think, oh my gosh, I've got to do something. I've got to help. And it's been a call for a very long time. And I can get to be a little too intense with my own self about the whole thing. So playfulness shifts that. And yes, also Lisa mentioned the nervous system. Yes. And being more present. Absolutely. Playfulness is that. Lisa and I have talked about dance recently and the power of that. And I know for me, that's such a beautiful counterpoint to a life of purpose and intention, to embrace something that has that sense of play in it and all of that. So yeah, and continue to share as thoughts might come up. Feel free. I would like to start the conversation today with a little bit about self-compassion, because that is a trigger for activating the things that make us feel good and that make us feel like playing. And in our busy lives, it's so easy to be hard on ourselves. We often judge ourselves very harshly. We push ourselves beyond our limits. I know I have been guilty of that in my own life, and forgetting to be kind uh, to the one person that we have spend the most time with and have access to, and probably in our own hearts and minds deserves it the most. And that, of course, is ourselves. But self-compassion can be about treating ourselves with the same kind of kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend, someone that is close to you, and in recognizing that, like everyone else, you too are worthy of love and compassion. I remember a time when I was first involved with the Tibetan Buddhist community, and we were looking, in Buddhism, you look right in the face of suffering. And sometimes Buddhism gets a little bit of a bad rap for that. Uh, but it's a part of understanding the importance of compassion and empathy and all of this work that we do to create a more peaceful and compassionate world. And I found myself very overwhelmed by this in both in my own life and in the lives of others. And as a nun, I began to feel this deep responsibility to help alleviate that suffering. But in my efforts, as heartfelt as they were, I often neglected my own needs, pushing myself to the point of literal exhaustion, body breaking down. I hadn't really learned all the tools yet, um, and even understood my own habits and what drove me in my life and in my practice. And I remember there was a point where I was laying in bed. I was down for the count. It was over quite a period of time, and I remember my teacher coming to me and instructing me that about true compassion, and that it really starts with oneself. And she told me very clearly that I needed to learn to be my own kind mother. And that just really struck a chord with me. It turned out to be a very profound lesson just in that simple instruction, and I began to practice, and it is a practice, being kinder to myself and allowing for more moments of rest and joy and playfulness. And I found that this not only replenished my energy, but it deepened my ability to be available for others in my life. I think Lisa just pointed to that idea of being available to ourselves, but also being available to others. And I still remind myself of that teaching this many, many years later, as I get caught up in, our world and what the needs are around us. But And, sometimes it's easy to wonder, how does this playfulness fit into a serious practice like mindfulness and service to others? And playfulness is really about bringing about a light-hearted curiosity. And of course, curiosity is so important on our path of self discovery. And a joyful attitude can just be part of anything that we're doing. It can be, and it's a choice. It's something that may not feel so readily available in every moment, but with practice, we can find those things to be grateful about and the things that uplift our hearts. And it's one of the reasons I like to start and even end a lot of sessions with recognizing something, anything that we're joyful about in our lives. And when we allow ourselves to be in the present moment without a burden of expectations and of judgments, then playfulness can like transform a mundane task into something that is definitely more joyful and has that element of discovery in it. And interestingly enough, in Tibetan Buddhism, there is there's an underpinning. There is a profound understanding that our true nature is pure and unconditional. It is that divine spark that lives within each of us is not something separate from us. It is our fundamental nature of our mind, and and this nature is clear, inherently clear. It is vast, like the sky. And when we rest in this awareness, which is part of the goal of our practice, we can literally touch a profound sense of peace and joy. And this awareness allows us to embrace life with a more playful and open heart. It's like part of, it's at the core of the teachings on awakening and and finding enlightenment in our experience of our life. It is that relaxed sense of joy and playfulness that can be a key support in our practice. And as many of you know, modern science supports these ancient teachings. Research has shown, of course, that mindfulness practices, they rewire our brain, rewiring it to enhance our emotional regulation, and it increases those feelings of joy and well-being. And as we get some of the more commonly known benefits of reducing stress and improving our immune system and even enhancing our overall health, our brain is becoming more dialed in to the practice of joy and of play. I remember too, one of the instructions my teacher gave me in my early years as a Buddhist nun, and I was beginning to explore the sacred arts. And she really encouraged me as an artist. I had, been did art as a kid, of course, and but it wasn't taken very seriously in my family, as it can be in some families. And so, I thought I had to do something different with my life. And when she said, "Oh, but you're an artist," and I was like, "Well, where do I begin?" And her first instruction was just to play. She said, "Just play." And that I built my whole artistic career and my whole body of work on that idea of just being playful. And it's about mindfulness, really. It's about being present and being aware of our thoughts and our emotions, and not allowing ourselves to necessarily be swept away by them, but being able to cultivate a more balanced and compassionate mind. And so as we work on in our own practice to incorporate and integrate self-compassion and playfulness in our daily lives. How to do that? And I say we do it like we do everything, particularly here. If you're coming to spend some time with me, it's really about the small things. I'm always reminded of my dots and how they add up to something uh, beyond what that single dot might suggest it's about to become. And we start small. We start with small acts of immeasurable benefit and small mindful moments. When we wake up in the morning, we have a whole new day ahead of us, and we can take a few deep breaths and set that intention, which can include this self-compassion and this idea of joy and playfulness. And whenever we notice throughout the day that we might be making our way back to some critical thoughts, we can gently remind ourselves to treat ourselves with more kindness. We can also, I find it so powerful to find joy in the little things, the small things. It might be what we've chosen to wear today. It might be that favorite piece of clothing. It may make us feel a certain way, or it might be the texture of the fabric that delights us when we feel it on our skin, or when we touch it with our hands. And it might be as we walk in nature, and maybe you're just moving from your home to your car, but can you notice something in nature that is beautiful, that can be appreciated? It might be something that makes us laugh, or just even being in the presence of someone that we love, and appreciate. A friend, a family member, a pet. Maybe it's a piece of art. Art can bring joy in so many ways. But as we sink into our meditation today, I really want to invite you to bring a sense of self compassion and playfulness into the practice that we're going to be doing. And as your mind wanders, know that it's okay. We want to gently guide our minds back with kindness, and just as you would with a small child. We wouldn't be harsh with a child. Well, some people might, but I'm not thinking that most of us here would. So as you would treat someone that you loved. So allow yourselves to rest in the awareness of your breath. Feel the warmth of compassion and the lightness of playfulness, and remember that this is our time. This is your time to relax and unwind, to connect with your true nature, with that divine spark within, that vast, clear, inherently joyful space that is you. And so I want to thank you all again for being here. And I want to thank you for bringing your commitment to your practice. I want to thank you for um, bringing your commitment to a more peaceful and compassionate world. So anyway, let's begin to get comfortable as we start this meditation. And in your seat, wherever you happen to be, whether you are in a chair or with your feet flat on the floor, or whether you are on a cushion with your legs crossed, rest with you, or straight out in front of you, or whatever is most comfortable for you. Let's rest our hands gently in our lap, on your knees, and just you probably have a position that is your favorite. Sometimes it's a nice idea to shift it up, but go with what's working for you right now. Sit with your spine tall, relaxed, your shoulders soft. Let your eyes gently close, or just maintain a soft gaze downward. I'm going to take a few deep breaths, inhaling through our nose Gently exhaling slowly through your mouth. With each breath, feel your body relax. Feel your mind settle, your heart open. Imagine your heart is like a lotus flower. The petals are soft. Allow them to gently just fall open, radiant, present. In this precious moment, we are going to breathe in and out of our hearts, right at the center of our chest. Notice any sensations as your breath enters and leaves your body, feeling the rise and fall of your chest and of your abdomen. Allow each breath ground you in this moment. And let's be present to the light within ourselves. With each breath, feel this light beginning in the heart, grow warmer and brighter. And with each breath, may it expand into your whole body, filling your entire being with love and kindness. Let this light touch every cell, breathing, allowing, touching, present to this moment. Any thoughts or emotions arise, it's okay to acknowledge them without any judgment. They are neither right or wrong, neither here nor there. Just gently return your focus, the warmth, the light within your body. Now let's visualize a scene that brings you joy, completely up to you and your imagination. Insert your mind a place where you feel lighthearted and free. It may be right here on your cushion. It may be a meadow filled with flowers, an imaginary place or a real place you like to go, a beach with waves gently lapping the shore. Or maybe you recall a playful moment from childhood, or a playful moment as an adult. Rest in this space for a few. Allow yourself to fully immerse in this scene, feeling the joy and playfulness it brings. As you continue to breathe, let the warmth of this self compassion and the lightness of this playfulness merge within you. Know that both of these things are a natural part of your nature. These qualities are always accessible within you. They're always with you. They are you. Integrating them with awareness, we can approach every day with a sense of ease and joy. And in a moment, we're going to enter into a period of silent meditation. And I want to invite you just to continue to rest your awareness on your breath in and out of your heart, allowing the warmth of self compassion and the lightness of playfulness to fill your being. And as usual, if your mind wanders, just bring it back to these qualities. Bring it back to your heart, to your breath. And let the silence deepen your connection. I will watch the time and let you know when we're complete. Let us begin. Gradually bring your awareness back into the room. Feel your body sitting here, supported by whatever is beneath you. You're ready. You're welcome to open your eyes. Sending out those ripples. I just love being here with you. I appreciate hearing from all of you about enjoying this space as well. What is it that we can take with us from this practice today? Well, I'm going to say that I'm going to take with me this spacious feeling of presence and this sense of community and connection and sharing. It was my intention when we started to find that connection, to that sweet playfulness within, so that it would be top of mind when I move through my day. And as I move into the next week and into the month, to take time to pause and breathe. I'm a naturally curious person, so I like to encourage that within myself. So if there's anything you'd like to share about this experience, or even what you do appreciate about yourself that you carry through your life. And again, if you're more comfortable sharing in the chat, you're welcome to do so. Just know that we've contributed something powerful today through our presence. And again, I'd just like to invite you to start each day with a brief intention and remember to embrace self-compassion and be open to joy, and to take little breaks throughout the day where you can pause and breathe and just rest in your awareness and playful curiosity, bringing that into the moment. And then, of course, ending the day. Well, it's good any time of day, but ending the day with some gratitude and appreciation for anything that brings you into that place. You are also thanking yourself because you have really given yourself a gift, and I know it sounds a little lofty, but really we're when we do this, we gift ourselves, but we gift the whole world. This contributes to soothing the collective nervous system as well as our own. So um, it's part of the power of community. It's a blessing for supporting our own practice, and it's a blessing for supporting each other, even within this group, and it contributes to the healing and the wholeness of our planet. So thank you for being here. I do want to just say to everyone, if there's anything in particular that you'd like to explore, or if there's like a favorite type of meditation that you have, or if there's something that you think, oh, what might a Buddhist nun have to say about this, or whatever, not that I'm a nun anymore, but that was my vocation for quite a few years. Please feel free to reach out. I'm easy to find. One of the great benefits of coming together in this way is the time that follows, and when we carry that sense of being with us. So thank you. I know in Tibetan Buddhism we talk a lot about something called merit, and merit is any of the kindnesses, any of the practices, any of the things that we do that are aligned with our more virtuous qualities. And it creates an energy that feeds into the field. And so it was important to dedicate those merits. And so may the merits of this practice bring benefit to all beings and bringing peace to those who are suffering, light to those who find themselves in darkness, and compassion to every beating heart. May we all awaken to our true nature, to live in that space and to live in harmony and joy and love. And may this practice contribute to the well being of all as we flourish in wisdom and compassion uh, throughout our world. And again, I thank you.